All right, Grings. Okay. All right. So this is a little bit different. I've talked about this stuff in different forms. Um, this is basically the. I guess I could have titled that a little bit better, but I'm looking at it. But screw it. Aliens of Chaos, Reptilians, of course, they'll get the first one. Archons, Zetas, Nordic beings, and fallen angels. And you can go on and on with that. You can take, I'm just going from their point of view right now. Get a different. I mentioned this in different ways, but this is more like a layout of it. I can get the perspective of different beings too, on a more positive aspect of it. But basically, this is a world of chaos. So you have beings that are chaotic beings that are just psychotic. Basically, they live off of madness. And of course, the human does too. But we are influenced by other beings. You can go on and on with that. The demonic beings, we can go on, you can go on. I'm just naming a few in the title at least. But it's basically chaos dimensions that were open, where beings that just, they're at a low frequency, they're horrible, and they're keeping us shut down, keeping us fighting with each other, keeping us insane. So we don't wake up to anything. We have the secret space program as which is fine, but that's not the main. That's not what's really causing a lot of this. These are beings that are just insane. Future versions of us. You can go to all different layers of this, but it's still obviously the human. It's still, we still have our own, I don't want to call it blame, but we're still responsible for ourselves. But to give it a different point of view of it is that you have beings here that we cannot see that are screwing with us at a level like shadow beings, demonic beings. That's not just them. You have all these psychotic beings that are trying us to go insane. So gas prices, a president that's stupid 24 hours a day. It's like the Bush administration over again, or the Carter administration. It doesn't matter. It's all these things. You have Trump sort of helping us, but then loses, and now we have what we have now. It's a major psyop on a level of just trickster beings when it comes down to it. Agents of chaos. It's not just the government. It's not just the NSA. That's part of it. It's all elements of it. Even the Illuminati are like tools in all of this too. When you have beings from our universe that are just nuts. Really smart trickster beings. And some of them are Pleiadians and Arcturians. You can name them all. It's a darker side of them. There's obviously a good side to all of these beings, but there's others that are just horrible. And they live off of chaos. And, you look at the world, people trying to love and light and all that, but you get trampled in by demonic beings that just don't care. They don't care if they get destroyed. They destroy each other. It's like the strongest survive, right? They're hitting us with everything they got. There's probably more they can do, but it's just it's chaos at a high level that you can define it any way you want. Chaos dimensions, beings have completely gone insane. Whatever. It's not just the demonic realms. It is multiple places that are hitting us that we cannot see physically. Not really. Well, we see it through ourselves. And we're just waiting to get triggered, basically, which is not right. It's not the way it's supposed to be, obviously. But we're here to figure all this out. Is it the Anunnaki? There's some Anunnaki are chaos beings. Not everything's a chaos being, but they're trying to just basically turn us all insane. And they're doing a really good job of it. And those, it's good that people want to live a good life and decent life here. That's good. I think that's still a small percent compared to the rest of the world that's losing their minds, basically. Even if you do have everything that you want, you start going crazy. It's part of the chaos that's behind the scenes. So obviously they don't like being talked about. But it affects all the aliens too. The aliens can go insane too. So we're not getting a full glimpse of UFO knowledge. We're getting like little pieces of it because it's chaos. So it's like, here's a little bit, and here's a bunch of disinfo. Here's this and that, and just want to keep things as complicated as possible. So there's really no easy way to define these beings. They're beings that just lost their minds. They have to keep us locked down so they can't be discovered. They have to. I haven't really gone into this. I mean, I have here and there, but not like this. But as long as they keep us fighting among each other, they win. Obviously, trying to keep our sanity is not easy. They're just, they want us to just destroy each other. Or just play along and life is great or whatever and accept the reality that you're in. And as long as you don't cross the line, because they'll find somebody to mess with you. So yeah, it's like, how do you get a world to awaken to that? All of this, good luck. Oh, you never know. It's a little bit heavy for people to see, but once you heal this chaos energy, which is not the easiest thing to heal, how do you heal something like that? And people, I love the whole thing about this aliens aren't messing with stuff, dude. That's the tricksters. Of course they're going to say the aliens aren't messing with this place. Of course, that's the perfect psyop. And of course, many are going to fall for it, thinking we're just going to be healed in a couple of years and everything's going to be fine. After thousands of years of war, things are just going to all of a sudden get better. Well, you don't see no signs of that. So, yeah, the chaos beings, it's so complicated, convoluted ideas to keep your sanity through all this, the best of your ability. Obviously, they don't like being talked about. No. So last night, after I did that Jubilee channeling, about 4 o'clock in the morning, I felt like, first of all, Priscilla was crying. She got her teeth cleaned, so she's kind of out of it right now. And Fritzy's a little bit. They're both out of it right now. Even if Fritzy didn't. Anyway, Priscilla's different now. But anyway, around 4 o'clock in the morning, Priscilla was crying, and something was here. And it wasn't friendly at all. I felt like there was blackness everywhere. And I had a kind of a nightmare, sort of. It was kind of a dream. I don't know. It was twisted, but I thought it was just her going through, whatever is, because she's going to go to the vet. But no, this is something different. So yeah, we're dealing with things here that are obviously people have some idea of this, but massive psyop on the alien level is all these different psyops, like 100 millions of them all at once hitting us. They hit us with everything they got. And how do you heal this thing in 100 years is beyond me. But either way, fallen angels, anything you can come up with, anything you can just conjure up. It's beings that just don't care. They're just psychotic. As long as they keep us fighting among each other, they can stay hidden, and they're doing a great job of it. Even if some people are awakening to a certain level, there might be places in the world, Antarctica, wherever, North Pole, possibly might be places where it's okay to see beings and all that. Who knows? You have to have one. You have a really good VIP card for that. But it is possible. But yeah, it's just psychotics running the asylum, basically. Now, this is probably nothing new to many, but it's not mentioned very often. I don't even talk about it very often. I talked about it here and there in the past. But it's basically, yeah, these beings have lost all, because they don't want to get healed. They're just nuts. And, healing our relations with each other is not the easiest, obviously, especially when you have people who don't believe in any of this. So, even when you do believe in this, do you believe in all of this? It makes sense. Yeah, we have beings that just don't. We have alien beings that have no remorse. They don't care. They have nothing to live for. We're an easy target. You have higher dimensional beings that have a dark side that can screw with us mentally. Not to say it's all lost. It's just when you become aware of all of this, at least you can heal yourself and your path here and realize how these guys are doing things. They just want us to freaking destroy each other. So, yeah, like I said, it's a whole list of beings. It's not just like reptilians and that's it. No, it goes on and on and on. It goes for other. Even Arcturian beings aren't always the best either. Think about it. Anyone you think that's going to be obviously there's a light and a dark to all alien species, but don't think that all the Arcturians are good. Think again. That's what they want you to think. So yeah, it's future versions of us. It's whatever. It just goes on and on. So how to heal this is solutions. Be aware of your environment. Try not to go lose your mind. Try not to get triggered. Heal that energy. It's hard to say. It might help heal your path here in some form or another. Some people live in chaos and don't even realize it. Especially they have like a cult mentality. Talk about the news all the time, which the news that's chaos. So, complaining about the news and all that, it's like that's bringing in a low frequency. So anyway, the only reason I'm bringing this up is to put light on it. If you know your environment, I know everybody needs to love each other more, and that's true, but also realize who's causing all of this. You can say it's like a million different types of beings. It's feline beings, it's canine beings, it's all kinds of stuff. Yeah, like some of the chaotic energies from the past. That's where I was going to show that of like some of the tribes. You see these like crazy looking masks. Some of those are trickster beings. So you have tricksters from all all kinds everywhere. So obviously when you do a channeling, everybody believes it's an alien energy and yada yada yada. It's like whatever. Or some people say, was it William Cooper said, "Don't trust the aliens." It's like fuck. It's like how to heal this place is beyond me. But either way, you can't think about that. Just focus on your own journey, your own direction. That's all that matters. Somebody showed up in the background. That's cool. So yeah, she's kind of a little bit out of it right now, but she's doing good, recovering. All right, I'm Target Comedy Prep Sessions. We have the schedule. We have the shop here. Then on the 20th, I think, same situation here with the webinar. Social network behind the scenes. So tap into another side of the, a spiritual side of it, give you a point of view. So what's happened to the reptilian beings, maybe the Archons, we'll see. Realize this is not to lower your energy field, so know what you're battling, what you're dealing with. Parents can have, beings of chaos. Kids have chaos. Certain ones are just chaos beings. They're just there to cause. Obviously, when you're growing up as a kid, some are just mischief. You gotta get out of your system. That's one thing. But there's other things going on that's just there to just cause hell for everybody. That's a whole different story there. So yeah, it's like how you're going to heal something like this is solutions. Will give it. So this is going to be a perspective of where these beings are coming from, or what give you some idea of what you're dealing with. On that note, you can take it or leave it, whatever. But at least put education on it. I might continue to go into this throughout the week. We'll see if I remember. Okay, all right. Blessings. Yeah, I don't feel like they want me to talk about this at all. It's like, so sleeping tonight is going to be might not exist. Yeah. I wake up on like an alien ship, a three-headed reptilian being looking at me like, we're going to kick your ass. Love it. Okay, all right. Blessings. Yeah, the Queen of England is there as a reptilian being. Waving at me. Great. That's all we need. I mean, well, yeah. So the royal family. Before I go into, look at that. Look at the family as the royal family. Chaos. Can't get along with each other. Chaos energy. It's the border of the U.S. is chaos. I mean, it's just disease and all that chaos energy. It just goes on and on. So. All right, so we're going to go into the reptilian perspective of it, and we'll see what it says. We'll just switch around for a little bit. Doesn't mean we're going to do all those, but we'll see. All right, blessings. Brings you. We are the Reptilians. We are, yes, a neutral group. There are, yes, beings that are, you can say, warning from humans. Some alien beings that they want to learn through the human experience. So it's like children, they cause difficulties. You can say some of these beings that are causing difficulties here want to grow and improve, but first they have to be horrible. Some of these beings, like when they do like atrocities on their planet, they no longer exist after that. Like they've crossed their line, and a lot of them don't care. A lot of them don't even realize they're even going to do that. But you can cross the line where you get removed from the earth. It happens all the time. So there are many vortexes opened up from thousands of years ago. Atlantis played a big role in this, of just basically unwanted guests. The dark entities, it's just beings that it's aliens, it's dark entities, it's all the things that you can imagine. You can say want this world for themselves. Yes, these are not just reptilian beings. So these are beings that just want this as a dark planet. They feed off of negativity. That's all they feed off of. They can't feed. Well, they feed off of the light, but they bring the light into their own energy. So it's like a high. So they go after you because they get a high off of you acting up, getting negative, going after each other. That's their entertainment. So you see the news where it's all negativity, obviously, because they're trying to trigger people to do negativity, try to create timelines. So it's all about who can do the more damage on this planet. Now, the beings that do harm on this world doesn't mean that they'll exist too long afterwards. And they know that, but they're also become well known for what they did here. So you as the human, how much do you want to know? Some humans incarnate don't want to know any of it. They just want to have a good life here and ignore what's happening here. It happens all the time. Some of the Pleiadians are known for that. Some of the Pleiadians, they know have a lot of darkness within their civilization. All these beings that are here, without naming all their names, they have darkness within their civilization. So that it comes here, it's sent here to bathe in darkness, but also to heal the darkness. So some beings are sent here to release their darkness It's like, yes, you have some of the worst beings in the universe here. Very powerful, very mind controlling, just sinister. Yes, black magician energies that can't be seen here. It goes on and on. Let your imagination run wild with it. Please do, because you're probably not wrong. It doesn't mean you have to go too deep into why this is occurring, but it's just beings that captured the earth and they see it as their own. So, and these dark groups fight each other all the time. They devour each other, and humans feel it. So, it's not always going to explain all the details about them just yet because they don't want to reveal themselves because you understand how they tricks, how they do things. Obviously, a lot of your skyscrapers, the buildings here, they use those as portals to bring more of the darker energies here. It might sound like a cartoon to some of you, but it's like a fantasy TV, but then you see the chaos that's happening here. So, like a place like New York City is a perfect place for just opening up a dark portal, a stargate, and just allow the chaos to flow through. And how many people really notice it? Because humans are so shut off, they're not going to see anything. So, even these storms, the weather storms, as many of you know, those bring in darkness also. It can bring in light also, which it does, but also darkness can come through also. I mean, you can look at storms like, wow, that looks evil. Because a lot of times it is. It's for you to basically, I mean, as you connect with this, you connect to the Agarthian realms. You go into the core of the earth. Well, because they see things clearly. But obviously, humans here are pretty clueless. So, how far what do you want to know? You don't need to know everything, but at least have a better idea of how this world is manipulated. And you can get more knowledge little by little, what you can handle and what serves you best. I mean, sometimes having a lot of knowledge does not serve you at all. It's like sometimes you can't move. It's like you don't even want to talk to anybody anymore. You won't do anything. So the idea is for you to still function as reality in some form or another. So of course you want to get perspectives from different beings. There are timelines of awakening too. So like if you say, why didn't I see this before? Well, probably because you weren't meant to see it before. There's timelines like that also. So don't be hard on yourselves. It's like, wow, I did not see any of this. I had my awakening when I was older in life, when I was 60 or 70. I wish I had it when I was 30. It has a reason for everything. So the chaos beings that are here, you can see them as children because a lot of them are like children, at least the minds of them. Well, you look at a child as like, wow, someone can be really vicious and have a lot of energy to do that. So you have to have like a child's mind to do this much damage onto a planet. Yeah, they keep their mentality simple, but chaotic. It's like they only want to, like you look at some gang members, not many of them are, trying to solve world hunger or anything like that. Their rules are very simple, and that's the idea, is to keep it simple. They can be adult about it too, but a lot of them, some of them would rather just be childlike, because when you're childlike, you get away with everything. You just break glass, you do this, you harm those people. I mean, you do things that other beings like, wow, why would you do something like that? Because they don't care, because you're like a child's mind, so it doesn't matter. So you're dealing with a group of beings that just not all beings are like that, but quite a few of them are. Yeah, it's like you see reptilian beings manipulating your reality. It's like, wow, they act like they're like little kids. It's because they are. They might be adult beings, but they have the mind of a child, and that's where your realm is here to understand. Yes, it might be a little bit much for some of you, but many of you are ready for a change. This can't last forever, and that's true. There is another battle though, just to be aware that the war is far from over though. So there are other beings to give you perspective. So we're just giving our perspective. At least that's a short version of it. Greetings to you. The Archons. Yes, a neutral group. We are more fourth, fifth dimension. We'll just leave it at that. The Archon is to absorb energy wherever they can get it. Build themselves up. Some do build themselves up as crystal beings, where they at a higher frequency, but they can't always maintain it. It's kind of like stealing jewelry. It's like stealing from other beings. You know, they take a lot of that stuff is not theirs, but they do it anyway because they can. So there are energy thieves. You know, you have thieves that break in and steal jewels and steal wealthy. Archons are basically just higher dimensional, thieves that steal energy, steal identities. You hear about identity theft. Well, Archons are really good at that. Like they'll steal your identity and claim to be you. Only difference, they look like you. They sound like you. And you might be you over there, but they're posing as you. And some people think the clone is you. The Archon clone is you, and you're an imposter. Think about that world. So, yes, you're seeing the pieces of basically this universe. You can say itself lost a war, whereas demonic beings can just reign over your planet or anywhere for that matter. Your world was just an easy target. There, it was meant to go through this. You can say it was designed to be taken over. It didn't have to be, but it was there for the taking. Well, a lot of beings, you can say, of the past take this world for granted. The Atlantean beings took it for granted. The Palladians took it for granted. And ever so slowly, it started to evolve into a lower dimensional state. And once it went there was no stopping it. So even your alien beings, not to just mention the Pleiadians, there are other beings involved with this too. But they thought they can fix it. They didn't think anything of it. They thought they could fix it, and come to find they couldn't fix it at all. And it's like a virus that spread. So as humans became more fearful, hatred, hating each other, their children were disconnected. It's like it was already done. So obviously the early humans were not like that. They're more early humans were similar to like an Arcturian race. Yes, they might have reptilian. They had all these different alien DNA, but they're very Arcturian-like overall, just floating in the air. This is before Atlantis. You can say similar to like a Lemurian being, but this is before Lemuria. And with all this diverse connections, all of these higher frequencies, you can say they found a flaw within themselves. It's like if we can get to this state of mind at a higher level, what can we do if we forget it all? So you can say they, as a human collective, because humans at the time were all different colors. It's like thinking about like your red, blue, pink, and everyone's like that. Some might have a little shade of blue around their face, a little bit different. And you can move the energies around. It might not sound that too exciting here in your reality, but that is a version of the future humans. Yes, a lot of them floated around. This before the dinosaurs and all that. But you say, as even Mother Earth decided to just let it all go. You can say there's more to it than that, but one version is to just see what happens. How bad can it be? Well, it's also to explore the physical. But there's different ways of exploring the physical. Obviously, they were not aware of how far they can go, what darker realms can be opened. And yes, this world is darker than other planets. They have achieved to the lower dimensions. Well, you have higher dimensional beings that can open up lower dimensions, and some might destroy themselves after they did that. It's there's knowledge here. Let's open it up, even if it does ruin us. So yes, when acne was coming on the bodies, just the skin became weaker. I mean, it's pretty strong, but it was a lot stronger in the past, and the bones became very uh, fragile. Obviously, it was stopped. It could have went a lot further. Your bones can be a lot more a lot weaker than they are now. But it was at a level. You can say that Elohim was assisting to keep you at a level where you don't completely destroy yourselves, because that's one of the directions the world was going. So, just getting a little bit. Obviously, there's all these different versions of history, and that does not mean they're all wrong. Because remember, your past is multi-dimensional. So, yes, connect to the reality of your choice. You can connect to them all. Sometimes it's more fun just to love everything. But everything matters. It's up to you. Yes, the chaos beings that are here are works of art. Yes, they're horrible, but they also have a lot of personality to them. A lot of the higher dimensions have lost their personality, lost, their emotions, and the chaos energies brought that emotion through. Probably too much emotion. So the chaos beings are kept around because of the knowledge that was lost is now being remembered by them. So you can say the War Realms was an art form. Obviously, many are not going to agree with that, but obviously, when you're not being affected by them through violence and mental manipulation, you see how they operate here. It is quite the fascination of how they even achieved what they achieved. And the achievement now is for humanity to solve the mystery of your Earth. Many are terrified of aliens, and well, they don't have the adventure within themselves. It's like you can protect yourself and not get taken over. Some are afraid to get taken over by a being and easily get taken over. So it's obviously it's not for everybody, but for some of you, you're here to solve the mysteries of the Earth.